Brooklyn, a girl from the United States, found the light of Islam through a spiritual journey filled with searching and prayer. This journey led her to the truth she had been seeking, and with full conviction, she finally recited the Shahada and officially became a Muslimah. Through her social media platform, Brooklyn shares the story of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided her to Islam. She believes that the guidance she had been praying for was finally answered by the Creator, who revealed the ultimate truth to her. "To me, God has shown the truth. Allah has shown the truth," she expressed with deep gratitude.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn, and I'm a Muslim. I grew up being a Christian. I wasn't looking for any other religion. I didn't think there was any other religion, just to be honest with you. One thing that I always consistently prayed for, though, was guidance. I prayed that God would guide me no matter what I was doing, no matter the bad things I was doing, the good things I was doing. Just as long as I was praying for guidance. And I knew that I was going to be blessed one day. I knew that life was going to be tough for me for a while, but it was going to be really good for me one day. I just prayed that God would tell me when that time was, when that blessing was there, so I'd be able to appreciate it. That blessing is me being a Muslim. I was 25 years old when I heard about Islam for the first time. I'm 26 now. Alhamdulillah, it's been a year since I've been a Muslim. And there's no turning back. Assalamu alaikum.
Since childhood, Brooklyn was raised in a Christian environment. However, deep in her heart, there was always a sense of unease that she couldn't ignore, especially regarding the concept of the Trinity. She felt that something didn't make sense, but she didn't know where to seek answers. Honestly, I wasn't interested in or aware of other religions. What I always asked for was guidance. No matter what I did, whether good or bad, I always prayed for guidance. Every time I prayed, it was a request for direction, she said. Brooklyn's request was not just words, but a sincere prayer that she offered in every situation. She felt that there was something she had yet to understand, but she believed that God would guide her to the truth. Brooklyn first learned about Islam at the age of 25. At first, she did not have a deep interest in the religion, but her curiosity began to grow when she heard her friends talking about Islam. One of the moments that surprised her was when she discovered that Muslims also believe in the story of Adam and Eve. All this time, she had thought that the story only existed in Christianity. However, what shocked her even more was how Islam explains the stories of the prophets in such detail and clarity. When I was still a Christian, I remember my friend telling me about Adam and Eve and how Muslims believe in it. I was shocked that Muslims had knowledge of the story of Adam and Eve. Then they explained in detail the stories of Prophet Moses, Noah, Jesus, and Abraham, she explained. Brooklyn became even more curious and started to learn more about Islam. She read about the lives of the prophets, studied Islamic teachings, and discovered that many of the principles she had always believed in were actually in line with Islam. Moreover, she realized that the laws in Islam actually also exist in Christianity. However, there was one major difference that stood out to her. Muslims follow these laws with full obedience, whereas in the Christian community she knew, these laws were not practiced with the same level of discipline. The laws in Islam actually also exist in Christianity, but the difference is that Muslims follow them. The Christians I know do not implement these laws the way Muslims do, she added. After a year of studying Islam, Brooklyn finally made a major decision in her life. With a firm heart, she recited the Shahada, acknowledging that there is no God but Allah and that Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. At that moment, she felt a happiness that was difficult to put into words. A sense of peace and relief filled her heart. She realized that this was the answer she had been searching for all along. She then began practicing Islamic teachings with full sincerity, including wearing the hijab to cover her aura. For Brooklyn, Islam is not just a religion, but a perfect way of life that provides clear direction and purpose for humanity. I believe that God is one. He has no children and was not born from anyone. There is nothing like him. Islam is the perfect way of life. It is a guide for humanity from Allah, the creator of the universe. Within it lies guidance for life and the purpose of human creation, she stated with firm conviction. If there is one thing that made Brooklyn's happiness even more complete, it was when her mother also decided to embrace Islam. When her mother recited the Shahada, Brooklyn could not hold back her tears. She was deeply moved to see how Allah had granted guidance to her family. Her mother is now learning Islam with great enthusiasm, often asking questions and wanting to know more about the stories of the prophets and Islamic teachings. For Brooklyn, this is proof that Allah's guidance can come to anyone who sincerely seeks it. From her various life experiences, Brooklyn became even more convinced that worshiping the one true God is a human instinct. She encourages anyone who is still searching to keep praying and asking for guidance from God. If you feel that something is missing in your life, keep praying. Ask for guidance sincerely. Never be afraid to seek the truth. If your heart is pure, Allah will guide you to His light, she shared as a message to those who are still uncertain. Now, Brooklyn continues to share her story on social media, inspiring many people to learn more about Islam. For her, Islam is the most beautiful gift Allah has given her in her life, and she wants to share that beauty with the world. Elisabeth Jakstadt, a beautiful woman from Germany, once lived a glamorous life as a model. At the age of 15, she was already walking the catwalk, gracing magazine covers, and even modeling swimwear for a famous brand in Brazil. Her life seemed perfect in the eyes of many. Popularity, beauty, and freedom appeared to be part of her world. However, who would have thought that fate would lead her down a different path, one filled with peace and true meaning in life? Elisabeth's spiritual journey began when she visited Egypt for a vacation. She enjoyed the beauty of the land of the pyramids, wandered through bazaars, tasted local delicacies, and admired the exotic Middle Eastern culture. However, a small incident changed her entire perspective on life. While shopping at a bazaar with a group of tourists, Elisabeth noticed a Muslim shopkeeper who suddenly closed his store right in front of them. It was Friday. At that time, Elisabeth still had a materialistic mindset and felt surprised and somewhat annoyed. To her, it was a golden opportunity for the shopkeeper to make a big profit since the tourists were ready to spend a lot of money. How foolish this man is, Elisabeth thought. Why would he close his shop and turn down our money? Her curiosity pushed her to ask the shopkeeper directly. The answer she received was simple, yet it struck her deeply. "I am a Muslim, and it is my duty to perform the Friday prayer," the man replied calmly. Elisabeth was speechless. She never expected someone to willingly give up worldly profit just to fulfill a religious obligation. From that moment, her mind became filled with deep questions. What is the true purpose of life? Why is this man so steadfast in his faith? What makes this religion so strong? Curious about Islam, Elisabeth began exploring its teachings. She purchased a translation of the Quran and started reading it. Initially, she was merely seeking knowledge, but the deeper she read, the more captivated she became. When she reached the middle of Surah al-Baqarah, Elisabeth experienced something she had never felt before, an overwhelming sense of peace. She found answers to many of the questions that had long troubled her mind. "I felt as if the Quran was speaking directly to me. I cried as I realized how empty my life had been all this time. I had everything, beauty, a career, money, but there was still a void that couldn't be filled. And when I read the Quran, I discovered the true meaning of life," she recalled. With full conviction, Elisabeth finally recited the Shahada, officially embracing Islam and choosing it as her path in life. However, her journey of transformation was not easy. Her decision to convert to Islam brought numerous challenges and hardships. Elisabeth decided to wear the hijab as an act of obedience to Allah. Unfortunately, this decision cost her her job. Once respected as a teacher, she was suddenly fired solely for wearing the hijab. "They even offered me double my salary if I agreed to remove my hijab. But I refused. I couldn't betray my faith, And because of that, I was fired and expelled, she recalled, her eyes welling with tears. Elizabeth's life changed drastically. From being a model with many fans, she had to face a life filled with challenges. Not only did she lose her job, but she also lost her place to stay. However, she remained resilient and was confident that Allah would open a way for her. In the midst of her hardship, Elizabeth met a man who was intrigued by her conversion story. He offered his help and connected her with an acquaintance in Egypt. It seemed as if it was destined as Elizabeth returned to Egypt, the country where her journey to Islam had begun. There she found a place to live and a supportive Muslim community. Now Elizabeth has settled in Egypt and lives as a devout Muslimah. The story of Elizabeth Yakstad is a testament that guidance can come from anywhere, even from unexpected small events. From a model living in a glamorous world, she found peace in Islam. Elizabeth chose to lose wealth and worldly comforts in order to preserve her faith. However, she gained something far more valuable: peace of mind, conviction, and true happiness. I may have lost my job and my home, but I found something far more precious: Islam, and that is the greatest gift of my life, she said gratefully. Elizabeth's journey reminds us that in every trial, there is unexpected help from Allah. And for those who seek the truth with a sincere heart, Allah will surely guide them to His path.